recording.
Says we're recording.
Live.
Now it says that we are live to 0 people, which is always a good sign.
Nice. Uploading. 81,793.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I think we are live. We don't have a thumbnail. Our thumbnail is just pitch black. Let me see. Let me text Hunter. Could you fix the thumbnail that we just went live with? It's completely black. All right, what's happening here? Okay, we got some people following. We got some people flying in here. We got some people flying in.
All right. Good.
All right, so here we go. I don't know why. I don't know why we're recording here. All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Tour Life. A little hiatus for us. A couple weeks off. I was on a cruise. Yuli had some stuff going on. Crazy.
Where'd you go? What cruise were you on?
It's the greatest cruise of all time.
Hit me.
Virgin.
Oh,
The food.
the islands.
No, Virgin Voyagers is the cruise
okay.
line.
Where'd you go though?
We went down to Turks and Caicos and Bimini.
Wow, exotic.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. I mean, it was so nice, and Kelsey and me haven't gone on a cruise in forever, and it took a lot of convincing to get Kelsey even to come on the cruise in the first place. But we liked it so much, we put a down payment, well, kind of like a down payment on the next one already. So
good.
like we already, they're giving like deals and stuff if you already like pre-book. So, all right, let's try as people are kind of rolling in. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of questions of like what happened, but let me try to explain what's going on right now because it might be a little bit different of a show for the next couple of weeks. So it looks like Silas unfortunately has other obligations that he's going to be doing Tuesday nights, and he will no longer be producing the show, which is sad because it made me and Yuli's job a lot easier having a producer and being able just to pop on and just talk about disc golf. I'm going to try to do my best. That's why we didn't have a thumbnail tonight. That's why a lot of stuff wasn't done because we're slowly in the process of trying to figure it all out. So moving forward, if by any means you are interested in being the producer, the new producer of Tour Life, I'm going to put my business email in the chat. And for those listening, it's bwsproductions@gmail.com. So if you are interested in potentially being a producer, and honestly, if you're a listener of the show, good chance that you'll probably get the job. I can teach you everything. It's actually not super hard to get it. So apologies for the show kind of being bare bones. Probably going to be bare bones again next week. But we'll get back on the wagon, hopefully find someone to come on and help produce the show. Because I honestly have no idea what I'm doing with this program. And we'll probably have Silas kind of help onboard the new producer as well. So that is kind of the update on the Tour Life situation. And tonight we have Ricky Wysocki coming on, which is going to be really fun. We also have Gary from Debate Night coming on as well. Me and him were supposed to have a show last week, but with the Silas news and everything like that, we weren't able to pull it off. And he like prepped a whole bunch of questions for Ricky. So I was like, we got to get him on this show. I'm curious to see what he has to ask Ricky as well. So we'll have that. And like I said, if you are interested in helping us out over here, it is a paying job. You will get paid. bwsproductions at gmail.com. So send in your application, resume. I don't know. Send in something that's going to catch my eye and make me want to hire you, basically. Wow me. All right, Yuli, do you have anything for the people before? I got to run these two ads. I got to try to figure out how to run this one, but go ahead. If you got anything for the people, the floor is yours. You got a minute. because Ricky's coming on.
Okay, yeah. No,
Ricky's coming on. I got a lot of stuff going on over here.
I don't have much, man. It's sad to hear the Silas news, but the show must go on. Gonna miss the guy. He did a lot for the show and was super fun to have.
A lot of behind the scenes stuff, yeah,
that people don't know. So that sucks. But you know what? We're back, and I'm excited for the tour to start. I mean, I leave Monday. It's coming up quick.
Oh my gosh!
I leave Monday. Yeah.
There's that big of a gap between the first event and Waco, huh?
Well, no. It's one on Monday. I leave. The tournament starts that Thursday, and then or Friday or whatever, and then it's 1 week off, and then Texas.
I thought Waco was the end of March. Am I crazy? Is it not? Hold on a second. Hold on. Calendar. Oh, no. Waco's basically a month from now. All right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So you got a next weekend tournament, week off, Waco. Yeah. All right. There you go. 1 month from now. Wow.
Yeah. So it's
jumped
here.
on us quick.
Jumped
on us quick.
Yeah. But I mean, no, just been chilling at home. Got a little practice in here and there. I think I'm going to come into the year a bit rusty, which is fine. It's a long season. And we'll put in the work, I'm hoping to somehow find a couple good finishes early, but if it doesn't happen, I know, with a little work and being on tour, you're forced to throw so much. You're forced to get out there and play a lot. And hey, man, when you have a kid, it doesn't come with an owner's manual. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
But I have, I have gotten some good. When I have time, I've been posting on my YouTube channel and keeping the people happy and stuff. And I am getting out and playing a lot. But I'm going to try to sneak in some field work this week. I think that's the best thing for you before you go on tour is to get like 3-4 field work sessions in. And then typically that's enough. I mean, I've been playing for so long. What about you?
Yeah.
Field work or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like in the next month? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, how does that look for you? I mean, obviously,
I don't. Season. No, I think you're right. I think really at the end of the day, like the most important thing is just having that confidence in what your disc is going to do.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. And a lot of times that's tough to do when you go and play courses because you might not use every disc. And also like, you might hit a tree early and, it's just nothing like throwing in the field and seeing a full flight of the disc and seeing what it's going to do.
Well, that's what you throw on every shot out there almost. You basically have a 400-foot straight shot. That's the tour quality. And then you have 450 to 500-foot tight line for your OB left, OB right shots. And then a left to right,
couple 380
bender, and then some forehand up shots. That's the tour.
Yeah, we don't have big hyzer tournaments anymore, really.
No,
they're pretty much all gone.
So that's what it is. And so if you're playing a short course, I mean, you're practicing maybe 2 shots you'll have on a pro tour level course. That's about it. Yeah. So you have
good for upshot work.
You have to get into a field and play. I mean, Winthrop is pretty good for it, but honestly, Winthrop's kind of a smaller course when it comes to shot making compared to like, what you see.
You open it up a little bit, but
Brooksville, is that short or is it long? I think it's long. Couple technical shots.
I wouldn't say it's short.
Yeah, I think it's like mid.
I think it's kind of mid. Yeah. There's a couple holes where it's like a little dink, par 4 where you're dinking. But you throw a decent amount of big shots out there.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a handful of holes where you have to throw a big shot off the tee to put yourself in a position to even birdie. So, all right. So let me see if I can run this ad. This will be impressive.
I think you can do it.
Is that going? Is it happening? Wait. Everyone can see or hear the played media file, and it will be recorded. Let me know if you see Silas here in 3 seconds.
This season, get in the action with Prize Picks, the best place to make your daily fantasy lineups. You can win up to 1,000 times your money by picking more or less on player projections like points, rebounds, and assists. It's fast, easy, and a lot of fun. I've been using Prize Picks all season long, and it's a blast. This week, I'm looking at Jason Tatum for more than 29 points and Anthony Edwards for more than 25 points. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Now's the time to sign up. Head over to Prize Picks and use code TORLIFE to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That's right, no need to win, just play and give $50. Think Steph Curry will get more than 5 3-pointers next week? Giannis for more than 35 points? Cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this basketball season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. Don't miss out. Download the app today. Use code TORLIFE and get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
All right.
That was awesome.
Sweet. I got one more. This one's from our friends over at Manscaped. We all love Manscaped. Hey, fellas, let's talk grooming. We all know looking good is important, but feeling good, that's where the real magic happens. Whether you're headed into a big meeting, getting ready for a date, or just facing the day, the right tools make all the difference. Forget the irritation and cuts. It's time for smooth confidence. Start with the Beard and Balls bundle from Manscaped. Join over 12 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Use code TORLIFE at manscaped.com to get 20% off and free shipping. The Beard and the Balls bundle is all about precision and comfort. Start with the Beard Hedger, your ultimate tool for a sharp, clean beard with 20 adjustable settings. You can go from subtle stubble to a perfectly defined beard without a second thought, excuse me. And the best part, you won't have to deal with messy, uneven cuts anymore. Now let's talk about the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, your all-in-one solution for down below. Thanks to the dual blade system, the interchangeable foil and trimmer blades, make sure you're getting a smooth, comfortable experience. Sensitive areas, no problem. With skin-safe technology, these tools are gentle on your skin while keeping you feeling fresh. And whether you're trimming your beard or grooming below the belt, you don't need a rush. You get up to 60 minutes of runtime with the Beard Hedger and 75 minutes with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Plenty of time to perfect your look. Both devices are waterproof, so feel free to take them in the shower, and clean up is a breeze. Plus, the precision lighting on the Lawnmower 5.0, you'll never miss a spot, even when things get a little steamy. And did I mention they're travel-friendly with a built-in travel lock? You can try out an entire bundle completely risk-free. Manscaped offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you've got nothing to lose. Don't cut corners on your grooming routine. Upgrade to the Beard and Balls bundle today and keep yourself sharp from head to toe. Well, beard to balls, to be exact. Visit manscaped.com and use code TORLIFE to get 20% off plus free shipping. Your skin will thank you, and so will everyone else. Get the Beard and Balls bundle for 20% off plus free shipping with the code TORLIFE only at manscaped.com. Thanks to our friends over at Manscaped. All right, I think we're going to be able to, let's see here. Masterful producer Masterful. I think Ricky's in. I think we can we hear you, Rick?
I think so. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Let me see how we're looking here real quick on the YouTubes. 1 second. Yeah, I think we're Gucci. All right. I think we look great. Everyone looks great. We're rolling.
All
Fantastic. Right. Okay. Sorry. I'm having to produce the show tonight as well, so it's a little chaotic. I haven't done this in a hot minute. First and foremost, thanks for coming on. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Seems to be like you kind of are starting where you left off last season, which is no surprise over here. First question I got to ask. The no response to the text was a dead giveaway. That was.
Oh, was it? Oh,
that was a dead giveaway. As soon as I was like, "Hey, I'm hearing some murmurs. Do you want to come on? Do you have anything to say?" And then no text back. I'm like, "All right, clearly something's up," because he didn't know how to respond to that.
Pretty much, yeah. I answered it without answering it, basically.
We're also going to bring in Gary, who has a crap ton of questions for you, Ricky, that he'll probably pop in. Gary is probably one of the better disc golf analysts. He's won the most over on disc golf on our debate night podcast. So he'll pop in too. Gary, feel free whenever you have something to say, a question for Ricky or something like that. Feel free to pop in. But let me just start with this. How crazy of an off season was this for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously a lot of back and forth with kind of obviously a lot of different. It wasn't just one or two companies; it was multiple. So, yeah, it was obviously the contract with Dynamic, that was a lot of back and forth with lawyers and all that stuff that went into that, and so that was kind of the first step of everything, and then it was kind of gauging interest from companies, and dealing with that whole thing of companies having to do their budgets and do all these different things, and that was being kind of last minute because of the fact that I kind of caught me off guard that everything was going the way it was with Dynamic and all that. So yeah, it was very chaotic, but luckily I've got a team of people now that help me out, and that are able to kind of help with that kind of stuff and take that kind of off my plate, and they just kind of report back to me with the super important stuff that that are important to really making the contracts work.
How did that start? Did you get like an email from someone from Dynamic, a phone call, a text being like, "Hey, we need to talk." Like how like walk us, if you can, walk us through kind of like how that all started.
Yeah, so I mean, it was kind of I guess it wasn't really like an abrupt thing. It was more of something that they kind of gave a warning, and then they didn't really give a time frame, and then eventually it came a point where it
Okay.
was like, all right, this is what we're doing, and then eventually got to a point where it was just the lawyers, their lawyer, my lawyer, were talking back and forth. I was kind of hands off, and they kind of took it from there, and so then a lot of it just turned into a waiting game of back and forth, and I didn't really know what I was able to do, and if was I able to talk to another company in the meantime, and so that was kind of the weird stage that I was in for a month or two while that was getting sorted out on the lawyer side. And yeah, so that was kind of weird, unique thing that I'd never really dealt with before, even when switching sponsors in the past. And so yeah, obviously I've got a good team of my manager, and obviously got a good lawyer on my team as well. So whenever I need those kind of people, they're there, and I'm super thankful for that. And people being experts in their field, which obviously is something you need whenever you get to a level to where you're dealing with this kind of stuff.
Were you bummed? Were you like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? Because I mean, I feel like that's something not a lot of people talk about. It's happened multiple times in our sport too, to where like
Uh
all of a
huh.
sudden, abruptly, your contract's just like kind of up in
Yeah.
the air. Like, what were you feeling?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I mean, I was definitely like, I don't know. I never was really to the point where I was like, I guess, depressed or anything like that. I never really felt any of those emotions. It was more of like, all right, well, like, just what's my next step? That was my first response was like, all right, well, it is what it is. It's not like, I had obviously thought about it and was able to kind of absorb what was going on. And then it was just right into the next thing. And like I've kind of always said is, the contracts and the money, that's all great, and I'm very thankful that I've gotten myself in a spot to be able to capitalize on that. But I still am in a stage of my career where I love playing disc golf. So I want to work with a company that wants to work with me, that I feel like I can perform with. It's really that simple. And so, if you're not believing in me, or you don't want to, if we're not on the same page on every aspect, whether I feel like, yeah, I can perform with your disc, you're supporting me on the business level, I'm supporting you with my performance and the brand that I bring to the table. So if any of those things aren't working out, then that's kind of where it kind of fell through with Dynamic, and we weren't just on the same page with a lot of stuff, and so that it really wasn't the type of thing where I was upset about it, to be honest. Obviously, the good contract, that was, the monetary value, I was a little and I wouldn't even say upset, but just like the opportunity was, just where the market is, it's obviously dropped. So the next contract was inevitably not going to be as much as the contract I was in. And so really that was the monetary value was really the only thing that was, I guess, I would be upset about. But everything else, I still had an opportunity to play with Discraft, an amazing company that makes amazing discs, and I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to go out there and play and perform to the best of my ability. So it really didn't change that part, and that's really the most important part for me.
Was when you're making your decision with where you're going, because it sounded like what you said from the beginning, it was multiple people. It wasn't just like Discraft reached out and you're like, all right, I'll go to Discraft. Was the relationship between you and that company ultimately of how were they going to market you, how they were going to help you push this was because there's two, in my opinion, there's maybe like three type of people on tour. There's the people that are not good, can't sell discs.
Yep.
Well, there's four people. Not
Yeah.
good, can't sell discs. Not good, can sell discs. Good, can't sell discs. Good, can sell discs. And I think some people were trying to put you in the category at Dynamic of good, can't sell discs, when ultimately I don't think you actually are in that category. I think if you have someone that is marketing the right way, putting your name on good discs, I think you could sell a lot of discs. I think you've proven that with other companies in the past.
Yeah.
So was that like a big key factor with you is I want to go somewhere that lines up with where I'm headed and I know they're going to be able to market me the way that I know? Because ultimately, like you said, at the end of the day, like if you're not making them money, they're just going to let you go. But if it's on them, there's not really anything you can do about it. Like you're playing incredible,
Right.
you're making content, you're doing all this stuff. And so ultimately it boils down to, can they do it?
Yeah, and you basically hit the nail on the head right there. I think that was the most important thing, that basically there was that big disconnect where I was getting my $1 million contract, whether I made one post, 100 posts to promote my disc, commercials, whatever it may be. So there was this weird disconnect where they were paying me the money in the beginning, but then there was like, they weren't like coming up with this marketing strategy. Hey, Ricky, we need you to film this video, this commercial. Let's do this and promote these stuff. And so for me, it's like, all right, well, I'm getting the money whether I do that stuff or not.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to go. I'm more than willing. If you guys come up with some marketing strategy and you want me to do commercials, you want me to do all this stuff, I'm expecting to do that. But but it was just weird because I was getting the money and then also I was having to be the one to promote the stuff when it didn't really matter. I was making that money no matter what. So there's really no incentive on my end to go above and beyond what I'm already getting, and I'm already having to try and play and perform the best of my ability. So I'm going to focus on that. And so it was just this weird disconnect of they're paying me and then I didn't really have any motivation because they weren't spearheading the marketing plan behind trying to promote my discs. Yeah. And so it was just a really weird situation to be in. And I'm not blaming them. I just, I think they had bigger fish to fry. They were obviously going through all the things that they're going through with the change of, the venture capitalists and all the things that they were doing. And so I think that there was just constantly people leaving, new people coming in. And so it just made it super hard to make a connection and say, hey, let's develop this disc and then, do this marketing plan. And then we'll jump to the next disc and do it again with this next, putter, mid-range driver, whatever it may be, to come out with my line of discs. And so that was the biggest disconnect, is just not really being motivated to promote me. I guess they were just paying me and just, I guess, hoping to sell the disc without promotion, which obviously isn't the right strategy in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think these are the two biggest downfalls that a lot of disc manufacturing companies have, and ones that they need to either figure it out or they're going to be left in behind, because one is the way that they sponsor players, the way that they pay players, which we're seeing a lot of people do that differently, right? Like when I first came in, it was you have to win a world championship to get a disc, which I think is the stupidest thing in the world, right? That's gone. That doesn't exist. People are giving discs to people left and right? That makes a lot of sense. Also, like how much money you make, there was very like a tiered system of like, we're going to put in this information and we're going to calculate this number, and then that's going to decide what tier you're on, and that's going to decide your salary. And it's like, whoa, hold on one second. Like this person might be just as good and might have the same number, but their value might be way higher. That's more work for the manufacturer, though, to have to come up with that. It's way easier for them just to lump everyone in. And the biggest one, which I've never understand, and still a lot of companies still do this, sounds like Dynamic was doing this with you, is unless it's in the contract of where it's like, hey, we are paying you as not just a professional disc golfer, not just someone to play with our equipment, but we're also paying you as a content creator. And you have to make this many posts a week. You have to do this. Unless that's like in the contract, that's not what we're signing up to do here. Like the ball is in your court. We're giving you our name, our likeness.
Exactly.
Use it however you want. We will be there to shoot the content and stuff. But for a company like Dynamic Disc to say, hey, Rick, like come up with an idea and like go promote this disc. Like I'm guessing that's not in your job of being a producer, a videographer, content creator. Like that's not part of the contract. So
Exactly.
I think a lot of these companies in some senses are lazy, or maybe they don't have the people in the position to be able to handle this yet. But that's like the biggest thing that I'm seeing missing is just that side of it, of where it's like you have all these people, use them,
Right.
and don't rely on them to do all your work, the work for you, right?
Right, exactly. You got to utilize the people in the company to then utilize your biggest assets, which are, a lot of times the players. You promote them and use their brand and maximize their brand's potential on sales with discs, jerseys, gear, whatever else that may be. But like you said, you have to use that company's resources to do that, because the player isn't going to be able to create content, play and perform at the highest level, do all the other promotional things they need to do to keep their brand in the forefront of people.
Yeah, and some players suck. Some players suck at that. Like that's the thing, is like there are a lot of companies out there that sponsor players or have, their license, and they're like, hey, this guy can't get open into a free mic. Like we need to make sure this guy never gets to a mic and talk. This guy cannot talk without cue cards, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
they protect that person.
Mhm.
And there are so many people that just suck at social media that play disc golf.
Mhm.
Guess what? Like that's okay.
Right.
And it's like that's where there's just a big disconnect. I think a lot of people are missing out on a lot of stuff with that. Another question I have, and then Gary, Yuli, pop in, please, whenever you guys want. Did you have any control on the pricing of your disc? Because that's another thing that I saw sometimes, was some people were saying like, some of your discs, I think they were charging $35 or something for. Is that right? Was there anything like that where you were like, if you would have said, hey, that's way too expensive, can we like do something? Would they listen to you or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question, and the answer is no. I basically had no insight in on any of that. It was basically, we did the promotion, and the General is one of the most popular discs that we did, and that's because we promoted it, and I feel like we did a good job with that. But yeah, there was no sort of like talking to me to say, hey, like what do you think would be a good price point for your fans? Like what would you want to like post it like post the disc for and all that stuff. But yeah, they never did that. It was just more of like, hey, this is what we're doing. And that's it. There's no insight from anyone else. They made the price, and that was it. And so there was just not that much communication. Also, that was another problem too. They had their strategy, and that was it. And they didn't consult me on much, and so that was kind of, it just made me not really feel like a family environment as far as that goes.
Yeah, one of my favorite thing that Discraft does is they will shoot me like a couple photos and be like, sometimes I have an idea and like we'll say like, hey, I love this. Let's try to like work something out with this. And they'll shoot me a couple photos and be like, what do you like? And then there's like a back and forth with me and the designer to get something to where I feel like good about. Because at the end of the day, like if you put a product out with your name or logo on it and you're like, this sucks,
Right.
you're not going to wear it. You're probably not going to throw it, or you're not going to be like organically happy about it.
Right.
So like having that is super, super important. Garrett, you had a question?
Yeah. With your time with Dynamic, Ricky, do you feel like as House of Disc got more involved, that kind of lack of communication, the lack of the family environment, was that something that they struggled with a little bit early on, or as they became that more commercialized part of the larger conglomerate of companies, that the communication started to struggle, the contact points started to communicate with you less and less, and it felt like your control over what was going on was kind of being taken away from you almost?
Yeah, and I think that, definitely. And I think it slowly progressed. Like the first year wasn't so bad, and then year 2 was a little worse. Year 3 got way worse. So it was an escalation that definitely got, I noticed, noticeably worse as time went on, and they kind of started controlling more of the positions, so to say, down the chain. Obviously everyone had to report back to the top guys, which were the venture capitalists, and they made the decisions on pricing. They made the decisions on whether to do marketing. Was the marketing budget like up to par to really promote myself and my brand and bring it to the table? I don't think they saw that value where they had to invest video production and marketing, and they just decided for whatever reason they were not going to. And then obviously the turnover of positions, I noticed a lot. That was the communication problems. Was you'd have a person in there, you'd talk to them, and then a couple months later they're just gone and they're not there anymore. And so for whatever reason that, obviously I don't know logistics on why people were getting fired, but that would happen. You'd get someone that was you were working with and vibing with and, bouncing ideas off of, and then they'd be gone. There'd be a new guy, and it was just never really got on any sort of like rhythm of like, all right, make a disc, release a disc, do the promotion. And then, like I said, kind of go to the next disc, do that same strategy with that disc. It was just kind of, yeah, it just was hard to really get in a rhythm and really get on any sort of marketing routine and plan.
All right, let's change it up a little bit. Let's talk about Discraft here, because I think something that I actually really do find fascinating is the inner workings of how each manufacturer, and maybe some don't actually have a strategy. Let's be honest. I think some don't have a strategy. Yeah. They just like, it's like, what's that game where it's like all the ducks are just like floating around and you like you grab a duck and you flip it over and you hope it's got the winning number. It's like, oh, well, all right.
Game.
All right, we'll sign you. All right, you come over here. Whereas like, a company that I think is super strategic about who they're signing is like MVP, right? Mm-hmm. I look at MVP and they're 4 big guys right now. I don't think there's that. I mean, obviously Simon the Eagle, maybe a little bit of a crossover, but you've got James Conrad, who's like more of the grassroots kind of player fan base. And then you got Big Germ, who's got, Yuli and the Jomez thing going, but also is kind of like a disc nerd and loves it, all that. So like, I think when Big Germ comes over, they're probably getting a lot of people that just did not want to buy, or not, sorry, that just didn't buy MVP for whatever reason. But now that Big Germ's there, they might start buying it. I'm already seeing people in the chat saying like, I'm a big Ricky fan, but I'm not buying dynamic discs. So I think you are going to see a lot of new people that are, buying your disc to support you or whatever, to want to do that. But my question, and this is not necessarily a bad thing, because I think if it goes this direction, I'm okay with it. I think it makes sense from a capital standpoint. But my question is, do you see yourself coming to Discraft and bringing a whole new fan base to Discraft that don't buy Discraft right now and are going to because of you? Or do you see yourself taking disc sales essentially away from a lot of other people? Because I think you're going to sell a lot of discs. The question is, where are those disc sales coming from? People that already are buying discs and are no longer going to buy an Adam Hammis zone and are going to buy a Ricky zone, or not going to buy a Gossage Raptor and going to buy a Ricky Raptor? Or do you think you're bringing in a huge flux of new people?
Well, it's hard to answer that for sure, obviously, because we don't know. But I think
it's speculation.
I think a little bit of both, to be honest. I think, it might be a good chunk of people that may have not bought it. They are now buying it. And then also, I'm sure that's naturally going to happen where some people may buy my stuff versus someone else, or you never know. It could just be, they're buying my stuff in addition to the Discraft players that they already buy. You never know. So I do think there's, I don't know how many there are. I couldn't put a number on it, but I do think there's a good chunk of people that are going to follow me over to Discraft and start, buying my discs that we come out with and that we're releasing and stuff like that. And so I think that's really cool to do that, and especially with a company like Discraft, because they do still have that grassroots feel where they're a big company, and they operate completely different, obviously, than Dynamic. And I think that's something that's super important to me, and I think that's something that for me and my fans, I try to be as genuine as I can, and and that's important to me. And I think that that's important with Discraft as well, is just being upfront with things, and just really, that's something I really want to associate with. So I'm super excited about that.
I would argue that like there might not be another player out there that would bring more people to Discraft. And my argument would be this, especially let's say like 5-6 years ago, there was Ricky and Paul.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And people loved Paul and people loved Ricky, but you guys clashed. You were the two best players. And so you were going at each other for a long time. So people were supporting you. You bring that over to here, maybe there were some people who are like, no, I'm a Paul guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't buy Ricky stuff. I'm not buying Dynamic or wherever it wouldn't matter. You know what I mean? What manufacturer it would be. So I don't know. I might be overthinking a little there, but I think there's got to be some sort of clash course right there that finally brings more people to buying Discraft.
I'm also gonna explain my point a little bit because there's a couple, people that might be a little bit on the slow side. So I'm gonna try to explain it a little bit easier. I like the Raptor. Right now, Gossage is my favorite player that has a Raptor. I'm gonna buy that. Oh wait, what? Ricky, my favorite player, is now on Discraft, and he's gonna have a Ricky Raptor. I don't have infinite money. I have to choose now. Am I going to buy a Gossage Raptor or my favorite player's Raptor? I'm going to pick my favorite player's Raptor. That's the whole point. Now, obviously, it's not for everyone, right? There's some people out there that have incredible disposable income, and they're going to probably now double how much they're going to spend because Ricky, their favorite player, is now on Discraft. My point is there are people out there that maybe they only buy a disc a month. And when Ricky comes over, they now have to decide, oh, shoot, like Ricky's new disc just came out. Do I want to buy that or the disc that I'd normally been buying? That's my whole point. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because, and Yuli, I want you to answer this question. Discraft has been known to like really support and hang on to people that maybe they don't need to, right? They've been really good at helping people stay on tour, supporting people, putting food on the table for a lot of people that probably don't bring in the bread for them. Do you foresee that happening still in the near future? Because let's just propose there's an influx of $500,000 with Ricky coming over, and $250,000 of that of that is new money that wasn't coming into Discraft, and the other $250,000 was between three players that were on Discraft, right? Those three players used to got the $250,000, but now all that is going to Ricky. So now these three players aren't really that valuable anymore because Ricky's kind of taking their market share. Do you see Discraft long-term still hanging on to those players, or do you think there is a world where they will shrink down? Because they have the biggest roster by far.
It honestly depends on the player. Really. I mean, there are some people like, let me use Ben Calloway, for example, been on the team forever.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's say he doesn't go on tour next year and some other young kid comes up and he's playing great. He's throwing all Discraft and he
Luke Taylor.
Luke Taylor. Here's the thing with Discraft too. They don't like screw anybody over.
No.
So they're going to give Ben Calloway, this is hypothetical, obviously, they're going to give Ben Calloway an option of, here's what we can do, and it's probably going to be more than he's worth, right?
Yep.
Just a little bit or exactly what he's worth, whatever it is.
Sure.
But he's going to have that option, and then he might be able to go to another company and get more, and then see you later, Ben, if that's where his loyalty lies, is to the dollar, which most people it is. And it just, like I said, it just depends on the player. If you're not bringing any income, you're not working, and you're not very good on the team, it's just like any team, you're gone. I don't think Discraft goes like, oh, just because you're on the team, you belong here, we're going to keep you forever. You gotta have whatever value it is. You got to bring that value. I mean, it's as simple as that. So hopefully that answers your question.
I think another cool thing that I've noticed just coming on the team and talking about tour series and stuff, I guess kind of back to the loyalty thing of what Discraft and how they treat their players, that I've noticed just in the short time I've been on the team is they have a seniority kind of thing with tour series. Because I was talking to Bob about it, and I really like the fact that I can't just come in and just basically steal the most highest selling tour series disc, for example, whatever it may be. Let's say it's the Buzz or the Zone or whatever it is. I have that goes to a player that's been on the team that has seniority, and they have the right to, hey, I've been on the team, so I've had this disc, and I have the right first option to make that my tour series disc for the next year. And so I think that's actually really cool. The fact that they still keep that loyalty to that person, no matter what, like Yuli said, if they're not, maybe didn't have the best year or all that stuff, they're still on the team and they still kept that Elite Series status. So they get the right to have that option to have that tour series. And so I just think that's really cool, even though it obviously doesn't benefit me. I just think in general, as the way they run their team, I think that's really cool. And that's just a cool dynamic that I've noticed.
And I think ultimately the end goal that they're going to get to will be guaranteed salaries across the board with bonuses. And when that happens, it doesn't really matter if you don't have the best disc for a tour series or whatever it is, because you're like you said with the dynamic, you're guaranteed that. It doesn't matter if you set if they don't put a single Ricky disc out, or if they put 10 million, they're still going to pay that. And normally when the money is smaller, and also when you don't want to take as much risk, or when you can't take as much risk, that is where these contracts that a lot of players have, where it's, hey, we're going to give you a little bit of money on a monthly basis, but every disc you sell, you're going to make more money. Like that's just a very a less risky thing for companies to do. And that's why a lot of companies do it at the lower levels. And I think as it gets bigger and bigger, if it gets that way eventually, hopefully, then everyone's just going to be guaranteed. And then there won't be, because let's be honest, there are going to be some people that are going to be butthurt. There are. For sure. There are. Ricky's going to get some sick disc with some sick plastic, and it's going to have a sick stamp, and someone's going to be like, oh, I wanted that disc. Like it's going to happen. And
for sure.
That just won't happen if everything is guaranteed up front. That's kind of the point I'm making. Right. Let's talk a little disc if you don't mind.
Yeah.
What does your bag look like? What are we throwing out there?
Yeah, I haven't really done it in the bag or anything yet. Actually, it's funny. I'm actually biting a bunch of my calluses off right now. I've been playing a whole bunch, so I'm like, I have like a bunch of calluses forming on my fingers. But yeah, no, I've been throwing a bunch of Venom has been a disc I really like for forehands and backhand. It's kind of just been a disc that's the stability and the glide. It's got like, it almost feels for me like a longer force. So it just has a little more glide and a little more distance. So I really like that. I've been actually liking the buzzsaw. I don't know why more pros on Discraft don't really throw the buzzsaw, but I really like it. I think it's a great disc.
Mine's really flippy. The one that I have.
Okay, so I have mine. It is flippy, but it's not like super flippy. But it just has a lot of glide. It's crazy. So I just like. I feel like it glides more than a regular. It's like a, I don't know, further buzz. It's really weird. It feels like it goes like 25 or 50 feet further than a regular buzz for some reason. So I like that, and of course the zone. I've got like 4 or 5 zones in my bag right now. I've got 2 Jawbreaker zones and then 2 TI zones.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. And so I've got that. Obviously, buzzes, zones. I've got one of my fairways. I got an Annex and Athena. Onyx, sorry. I don't even know the names yet. It was funny. I was doing a YouTube video and I accidentally called the Luna the Zuna. I was like, I'm going to throw the Zuna. I said like the plastic and the name of the disc all in one word. The Zuna. So I've been throwing the Luna, the Z Luna. That's been good. I got a good one, a good stable one that I got from a local friend of mine here in Arizona.
Nice.
And then force. I got some pop top forces, of course, for like the super spike hyzers. And so I got throwing a heat for a roller. Heat's been my roller disc. That's like the perfect stability, the perfect shape and everything for my rollers. Nice. And then I've been putting with the AB focuses. I've been really liking those. So it's funny. I got a set from him. We were playing like a money round like a couple days before the tournament, and I got the set of putters I was using in the tournament. And he's like, "Yeah, break those in for me. I need them for Florida." And he likes like a slightly broken in putter normally. And so I used them for like a week or whatever. And then after the tournament, I beat him with the putters. I'm like, "Hey, you want the putters back?" He's like, "No, keep those things. I don't want to see those things ever again." It was funny, just a little joke. But yeah, so yeah, focuses, zones, pretty stereotypical bag to be honest. I guess the Venom's probably obviously the Raptor as well. I got some Captain's Raptors, and got one of my Raptors in there for a little more glidey because my run is a little bit more glidey.
How are your Raptors?
Well, yeah, what plastic did they run those?
So it's a Z plastic, and it's kind of like a flatter profile. So the profile obviously affects the flight, and it's more of a glidey. I would say it's qualifies as like a glidey run of Raptor. It's not like Yuli's Captain Raptor where it's got some overstability. You can throw it in headwinds and stuff. But yeah, I've been throwing like hyzer flip forehands or like the shaping of forehand that can still turn. So it definitely has some turn out of the hand. It's not like It's not like a captain's Raptor where it's going to have some fight back at the end. It's really going to, I can throw it pretty much almost just straight. It's like
Yeah.
a straight Raptor basically. So yeah, when I get in the woods and stuff, I don't throw it as much here in Arizona because a lot of it's just hyzers and stuff. So, but when I get, Waco and stuff like that, when you need to really shape the disc, it'll be good for that kind of stuff. And so I'll use it there. And yeah, so other than that, I throw a Malta as well for my overstable mid.
What about your
So-
overstable like fast drive? Are you just using the Venom, or have you found like a couple Nuka Wes's you like, or
Yeah, I throw a Nuco S as well. And I also
Okay.
another unique disc. I really like the Predator. I'm actually really liking the
Oh,
Predator.
Chris Dickerson throws that sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, there's some crossover with the Raptor, I know, but
Yeah.
it's
a
kind of
different
similar
disc,
speed.
man? Yeah.
It is different. It's like I don't know. I just really like. I got the Z one for like the yellow ones that everyone used to throw back in the day. You remember?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure people still throw them now, but yeah. So I really like the complement of like glide and stability. It's really nice for like it's just like a club underneath the force basically. So if it's if I can throw a force 425 to force 450, I can throw the Predator 380 to 420 kind of deal. So it's good for that kind of distance, and I feel like it's got a good amount of push, good amount of stability, and I like the feel of it in the hand. It's definitely got the lip is a little bit different, feels a little sharper in the hand. I know, so that's I think maybe one reason why people don't like the feel of it just because of the way the rim is, but
Yeah.
I really like it. So yeah, that's kind of the rundown of my bag right now.
So is your bomber disc off the tee? Is that gonna be like a beat-in Venom? Is what you're thinking?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I got a couple beat-in Venoms right now for like my long, max power forehands, max power backhands, and
You
then
finding them going farther or about the same, or is it pretty comparable?
farther than what?
Like
just
disc you've
distance.
ever thrown?
Yeah. Well, the nuke. Holy crap! The nuke. I started throwing that thing, and that thing
I was gonna
flies
say
so far.
how's the rim on that? Is that feel
Yeah.
normal?
Yeah, it's
Normal?
big, but I don't know. I've always been under like when I've been not like throwing 13 speeds. You always have the perception of like that they get squirrely. That you get that go from like a 12 speed to a 13, and you get that little bit of weird flights and stuff. And sometimes they turn a little bit more. But I noticed the nuke is like. I don't know. It's a 13 speed, but it doesn't have that inconsistent like flight like some of the high speed drivers of other companies.
You just gotta find the
And so-
overstable ones.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, exactly.
There's
right.
a couple flippy boys out there that you're like,
Yeah, for
whoa,
sure. Yeah,
can't put
Right,
that in the
for sure.
bag.
Yeah, you got to have the right run of it for sure. But you get the
Yeah.
right run and the right one, and holy crap, and it matches with the right shot that you're trying to throw, and it's a beautiful thing for sure. It goes, I would say, another 50 feet further than the Venom even. So. Yeah, that's definitely that disc that kicks it into the next gear, and you can throw it a mile. So I still haven't thrown a ton of them, just because I haven't really, I don't really throw like 100% power. I feel like that's for the nuke. You want to throw it like far as you can, just because, that's how you get that extra 50 feet from compared to where I can throw a force and where I can throw a Venom.
Yeah, you don't really need the extra distance.
Yeah. And
Gary,
I'm
what do
sure
you got for
eventually
'em?
I will. I mean, not right now, but eventually when you go to the
Big
Yeah,
pool
big
courses.
ones.
yeah, OTB Open and Portland and all those events, it helps to throw 600-foot shot and have a chip up to the basket.
Yeah, one of the things that's interesting to me, I'm not a touring pro by any means, and I think a lot of people, if you faced with having to replace their entire bag in a short period of time, such as you have, to suddenly learn everything, it's a very daunting task. But anyone who's watched your content, Ricky, it clearly can tell you have more fun throwing plastic than almost anybody I think we've ever seen on the internet. Do you think that makes it easier? Obviously, you're experienced and you changed bags before, but does that ability to kind of be a disc nerd make it easier for you to get adjusted quicker? Or do you find that like when you walk into something where there's tons of molds, tons of plastics, can that hang you up a little bit too?
Yeah, no, I think doing it in the past has definitely helped, but I think with Discraft, it really helps having people, a lot of like what Brody said earlier. There's a lot of top players on Discraft, so you can just send them a message. Hey, what are you throwing for this shot, that shot? So everyone's obviously super helpful, and that helps a lot because you don't have to go to the field and throw a certain nuke and have it go freaking sideways from where you want it to go. You can just say, hey, like they'll send you some good ones, or a teammate will, Adam or AB, we're at the course. Hey, try this out, try that out, and so that helps a lot, and it eliminates the having to field test 10 different nukes to find the good one, so that saves a lot of time that I think I have obviously a luxury of having a connection with a lot of the top players at Discraft that can kind of expedite that process of like just going straight for the good run, and they're willing to just give it to me. And so I think that's super cool. I think
Keep
that's
beating
something
them like that. They're not going to give you nothing moving forward.
right. Yeah, I guess for now. As long as I get
Don't
my bag
expect
right
another
first.
pair of
Yeah.
AB putters anytime
Right,
soon.
exactly. Yeah, no more pairs of focuses for me. So that does help, really does help get the bag lined up, and then of course there's still that learning curve of certain slots that you need to add, a disc here and there. But the meat of my bag was real easy, I think for the most part. Just for that reason, I was able to get a hold of some of the good runs and have people send me them, or just tell me, hey, you need to go pick this out at the factory, or this, that, or the other thing, and so. Yeah, and then just like anything else, it is like a kid in a candy store when you're first playing. You're out, you can't wait to go out and try your new disc that you get, that you got from the Discraft box and all this other stuff, and so yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I think it's a challenge. It's a whole challenge. You don't know what a disc is going to do until you throw it, so it just forces you to go out there and get those reps in to really feel comfortable with it. And I have no problem doing that, because that's what I do. I'm out there practicing either way, so I might as well take a stack of nukes and try to figure out which one I like and add that to the bag. And so it's just yeah, I just have the love and passion for the game that hasn't disappeared, and I'm just running with it.
Gary, people are telling me to turn your mic up.
Can you hear me better now? I just boosted the volume.
I hear you fine, so I don't know what the heck's going on.
When I go to a restaurant, people 5 tables over here, so I hear you just fine. So
yeah, there you go.
Do you have any nerves going into the first Pro Tour event? Obviously, it's in a week and a half or whatever, but like, where's your mindset with that? Because going into the big one, playing a B tier or A tier small when you first have your bag is a lot different than the main stage, the big place. Coming off that second place at the Pro Tour Championships, obviously you got a little fire under you to perform well. Where's your head at?
Yeah, no, it's good. I think I'm in a great spot. Obviously, I'm still in a spot where there's still a learning curve with the bag. I haven't perfected it, even though, I was able to score and play well. I was, there's still things I need to learn. And even in my own game, just discs aside, just shots that I need to get better at too. So, it's a combination of learning the bag, working on my weaknesses, and still, obviously, just like as Brody and Yuli, there's always, doesn't matter how good you play, there's always room for improvement no matter what, pretty much. And so that's the beauty of the game. We were, trying to perfect an imperfect game. And, but yeah, so I think I used this A tier this last weekend as kind of that is, hey, what do I need to work on? What disc do I need to work on? What shot, to add to the bag? What shots do I maybe not feel super comfortable with? And so that's the main reason why I was playing this weekend, is to really, I think it helps me not maybe feel so nervous for that first event, because I kind of got a little bit of that rust off of not really,
playing shot like 1080 golf.
That's gonna say you did more than just play this weekend.
Well, yeah, I
like
think
1100 balls, 13 under course record.
Yeah.
See, or what was it? 14 under. See you later, Vista.
Yeah,
never gonna be played again. At least somebody got a nice round on there before.
Is that the last time they're taking it out?
Yeah, that's the last configuration of that layout we'll ever really be able to play. They're going to have the course, but it's going to be a completely different layout. So
makes sense.
But yeah, I think there's times where I was able to putt my way out of a bad shot. That maybe I didn't know the disc, or I threw a bad shot and I was able to make the putt and save the birdie. So I kind of putt my way out of it to cover up, so to say, mistake here and there. But obviously on the Pro Tour, that's a little harder to do. If you have a mistake, you're not able to cover it up. You're out of bounds. You're down a hill, down a slope, whatever it may be. And Vista's a little bit more forgiving, being a flat course with a little bit of water here and there. It's not. But yeah, no, it does. I did play really well, and I was happy to build the confidence in a lot of the discs that I was throwing in the field, and kind of transfer that to the tournament. I only had like really 4 rounds of actual play that wasn't in a field to get used to the discs, and so yeah, I did play really well, and I was really happy about that. And like I said, it's a good building block to be ready for Florida. So I really am going to be. I'm excited, and I do feel really good, and I'm in a good spot to play, have an amazing season this year. I really do feel that way.
All right, let's change it up a little bit. Unless you have anything else that you want to talk about, the move from to Discraft? Did we miss anything that?
I think we got most of it.
I got a funny question. Out of the box that we did, where we picked those discs, did any of those make it in your bag? Like those specific discs?
From the video and stuff we shot.
Yeah, that went into that box. Any one of those discs make it into the bag?
I think some of the so we picked some pink forces and those venoms, right? Yeah, so I think they did. I was definitely like, I don't know. So that run, we picked like a stack of a couple of them, and so I picked one. So I'm sure that they made the bag. Yeah. So answer your question, they did. Yeah.
Because I had people asking me, they're like, "Dude, he's not gonna throw any of those discs." And I'm like, "I think I think something might make it in. You never know."
No, I did. They did. So yeah, thank you for that.
You throw that one good shot, you just got to go back to it.
Exactly.
I got one for you real quick though. Speaking of questions people have been asking, I know you've owned up to the picture of the disc in the background. That was a complete mistake, but people really want to know, why did you have a disc in the bathroom?
Well, to be honest, it's a funny story. Obviously the 100% truth was, I didn't know that disc was there, and I wasn't intending on trolling anybody. It was a complete mistake on my part, but it was actually one of the couple Discraft discs that I had in my stash. So I was like, whenever I was going back and forth with Discraft, I was like feeling the disc, obviously, like, like checking everything out. And so it was one of the couple in my stash, and I had put it on my counter and just kind of forgot about it. And then I just took a selfie in my Ohio State jersey. And of course, the FBI agents in the disc golf world decided to screenshot, zoom in, and friggin' do all their research to find out that it was a Discraft disc.
Ricky's sitting there in the mirror with it, like, "Oh yeah, this looks good."
Yeah.
That looks stronger with this thing. This is great.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's so funny.
I've had discs in the bathroom a couple times, but normally I just throw them in like the bathtub, give them a nice little rub down.
Wash, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Get the dust off of them.
Easy way to do it. All right, let's change it up a little bit. I'm curious to hear, honestly, you and Yuli's take on this. So this new tour that's going to start up this year, which is basically, if you've been living under a rock, it's GK Pro. The people that kind of run all the skins, they have now rebranded to Go Throw, and they're going to be having a handful of events that are kind of intertwined between the Disc Golf Pro Tour. So none of them are going to be conflicting, right? There's none that are like, oh, do I go to Kansas City and play this one, or do I go to St. Louis and play this one? Would love to hear both of your guys' takes on this and whether or not you're going to be playing any of the events.
Yeah, so I guess I can start, but yeah, I'm definitely intending to play in some. I think the only one bad thing, not that it's really a bad thing, I guess it's a great thing that they're starting a new tour and giving the players an opportunity to play week in and week out, which is an awesome thing. But for me, I think that it's just kind of weird. It's not weird, but it's just scheduling wise, it's like whenever you're having a break from the Pro Tour, you probably need a week off to rest your body, rest your mind. If you're flying home and flying back like some of the players are, you need that off week to kind of reset. And so if you're planning that tournament, you're going to miss out on some of the players because they really just need that week off. And so that, for me, some of those events just fall in that time where maybe I've played 4 or 5 weeks in a row and I need the week off in between the next, stretch of events. Because for me, the way I like to do it is I'll do 3 or 4 weeks on, a week off. And that just allows me to be fresh mentally instead of, playing 10 weeks in a row. And then by that 10th week, you're just going through the motions. You're not really you don't have that fire. You're not playing with that passion. It kind of fades by that 10th week. And so that's just my, over the years, that's kind of been my thing is 3 or 4 weeks on, 1 week off. And so sometimes it may conflict with that. And I may not feel like I'm ready or want to play for that reason. But I'm sure I'll still play maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 of them. I'll probably definitely. Yeah, I'm going to play the Eagles Crossing one. Obviously, that's going to be a big event. I'm definitely going to play that one, and then maybe the Arkansas one, because I think there's only like 5 or 6, right, to start for the first year.
Yeah, I think somewhere. Okay. I thought there was like 7 or 8, but there might be only 5 or 6.
Yeah, they canceled one.
Oh, they can't.
Yeah. Okay. So there's not a ton of them, and so I don't know if they're doing like a point series or anything like that. I think it's kind of this year's kind of trial run. But yeah, I'm definitely going to check them out, a couple of them, but I'm not going to play them all for sure. But it's overall great for the sport, and I'm excited to see what they can do and how they're going to approach, the new tour thing.
Yuli?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to any of them, only because of you know, my daughter being at home, all the time that I can possibly have, I'm going to be at home. And I've reached out to them because I wanted them to know that if I could play them, I would. Of course, I love Luke and
Yeah.
the skins matches and everything. That have always been just an absolute blast to me. But you know, if I was a single man, I'd probably play them all. You know what I mean? I wouldn't miss a tournament on the pro
What
tour
else you
or
got
that one.
going on?
What else do I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
going? Exactly. But yeah, unfortunately, that's just the way it is now. And as much time off as I need, I'm going to spend it at home. I mean, the pro tour, it's the king. You know what I mean? Like that's where you have the disc golf live, you have all that stuff. I have a great job with Jomez, and so I'm already getting paid just to be there.
Yep.
And that's a tough ask to ask on a tour kind of starting off, even though they have been really generous in some offers to just get me to the tournaments, which I'm very appreciative of. But for me, it's just time with the kid is way more important at this point.
Yeah, I think when it comes to, you know, small sports, niche sports like this, there's really no like negatives for someone to try to go out and make something happen. Ultimately, let's just say worst case scenario for this, let's say it fails completely, right? And it's just gone after this year. There might be some people at the Disc Golf Pro Tour or at the PDGA that saw them do something that was like, oh, that actually kind of worked. Maybe we should implement that. I think the biggest thing they got going for them actually right now is their distribution. I think the fact that they aren't doing any sort of like, hey, this is on Patreon or this is on our website that you have to pay for a subscription. The fact that it's all going to be live on YouTube, I think that's going to be very interesting. Very interesting to kind of see for the first time, like what numbers will we see? Do we see an event get 20,000 concurrent viewers, you know? And because I think with YouTube or with the Disc Golf Pro Tour, it's kind of tough because they only show, I think, like the first round on YouTube now. And then you also have people watching it on their app. So you can't really get like a good idea of like how many people are tuning in.
Right.
But I think competition is always a good thing. I think maybe the biggest problem with anything is neither one of them, or at least they're not saying to the public that they are competition. I think that's kind of a disc golfy thing of where like everyone wants to be friends with everyone and everyone wants to like.
And what is it really like winning? This is just me being honest. Like,
be honest.
You go to that tour, and you win 3 of them.
Sure.
Okay. What value is it? You're gonna get paid. You're going to have people watch you. People are going to be like, oh, this guy's really good. They got to see all your shots, play great disc golf, beat a lot of great players.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, like one pro tour win elevates your career insane amount because that's what you're looking for. You're looking for pro tour wins.
Yeah. You're
looking for tour points for the end of the season, all those things, the statistics, all those things like are so much more important on that level. And I think that's a tough ask for the top players to be able to be like, no, I want to play all of these. I want to win their series. And I hope they do, because like I said, I love what they're doing. I love their crew. They've always been generous. The skins matches, like I said, is some of the funnest things I've ever done in my life as a disc golfer. But that's the one thing I worry with other tours is it's like, yeah, but is it worth my time? Is it worth my career's time to go over there and win when I could go home and play a B tier across the street and it's the same meaning? And I'm not saying obviously there's levels to that. But
yeah, financially for sure.
And you know, and like you said, Yuli, that kind of brings us to the next point of like right now where it's at is that's the case. But you know, just like anything, you got to start from somewhere.
Yep.
And if this builds from this year to next year, they have a point system and they have all these different sponsors and hey, it could turn into something real big. And I think that's just something that obviously Luke, he dreams big and plans for big things. And so he's not doing this with the intention of burning out after a year. I'm sure he has intentions to grow and parlay this year into next year and the year after potentially. And so that's when, I think that it'll really turn into something where a lot of the top players are really planning their tour around it instead of just maybe sprinkling in 1 or 2 like potentially this year. Like I said, I don't even know. Maybe most people are playing them this year. You never know.
Let me ask you this question then, Ricky. I think you're a great person to ask this. So financially, what would be the amount of money that you had to win at a Go Throw tournament to equal a Pro Tour win of let's say 10 grand? So you win 10 grand. What is the equal amount that you win in that tour to be like, okay, that's satisfying to me? Is it 100 grand?
Yeah, I mean, I think at least 4 or 5x, probably
4 or 5x,
probably something like that.
Okay, so that amount would pull you away from the Pro Tour.
Something like that, yeah. Just a monetary value wise,
Okay.
yeah. I think something like that. And just that's just kind of my first thought of like that's kind of the scale of just to put it in perspective for
I think
people.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's I think you
chance
hit
to
it
win
on the nose.
10K or 50K. I think
Right.
I think a lot of people are probably going to that 50K.
Right, for sure.
Yeah,
I think that's
what
kind
they
of the
have.
number. Yeah,
I think that's the number they have for the what do you call
Eagles
it?
Crossing?
Eagles
Crossing.
no, I think
Crossing,
it's a purse. I think that's the purse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
first will probably end up being probably 10 or 15, something like that.
I think they are a little bit more aggressive on first place.
Maybe
more,
it was 20 grand.
I think
thought
that's
I saw a payout.
I know.
don't know.
I think there is a payout that they maybe sent me or something, but I think they are more aggressive and they don't pay as deep as the PDGA requires you to do it. Right.
Right.
So I think it definitely keeps the money more towards the top, which makes sense. Makes sense. Trying to think, is there anything else going on in the disc golf world that we haven't talked about? Anything else you guys got? Anything else cool going on? All-Star. Yeah, what the heck's going on with that?
I know, it's so weird. I think so. Last year it was like on the weekend before the actual tournament. Now this year it's just like the day before.
So they're doing like a President's Cup thing, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of. Yeah, like Thursday I think before, which is super weird. Yeah. I wish they would
be able to practice.
Right. Exactly. I think so. Yeah. I think it might be. I don't even know all the details, and it's only like like a week away or something.
Oh,
but
that's not surprising.
Yeah, no, that's 10 years in a row for the All-Star event. Like,
I know. Yeah.
No.
The thing is, I think it could be a cool thing. It just hasn't.
Day before.
Yes.
You can't be thinking that's a cool thing.
No, he's saying it
No.
could be.
Oh,
I'm saying All-Stars in general. Yeah.
Oh, the idea could be
exactly
correct.
But it just never pans out to be the way that it plays out every year.
Now they're like doubling down and being like, all right, we're not going to do it at the beginning of the year. We're going to do it at this date. So this year we're having 2 All-Star events. Did you guys hear that?
No.
Yeah, they're planning. They're planning on moving the All-Star event. Gary, you can step in and kind of give more details, but they're planning on moving it later the year and having it then. So they're like, we're just going to have 2 All-Star events this year. Right? Is that right, Gary?
Yeah, I believe they're moving a portion of it to be after the Tour Championship at the end of the year.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
Yeah, at least it's better.
More sense than a day before the first tournament of the year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I still think the best time is like
mid-season.
Yeah, have like a 3-week gap where there's no tournament before, there's no tournament after, so people are eager to see disc golf.
For sure.
And have it, and it's got to be something too that's like different.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, man. Like I guess some people enjoy watching people just like throw far in an open field. I don't know, and really like most All-Star events suck now. Like
in any sport.
The thing that's the cool here's the All-Star. Here you go. The thing that makes the All-Star event cool is you get to see your favorite players do stuff that you don't ever get to see them do. Right? In the NBA, it's so cool back in the day. Now it sucks. But back in the day, you got to see teammates have to play together that you never saw play together. Right? And in disc golf, I see Ricky make 60-footers all the time.
Yeah.
I see Calvin throw far all the time. You see what I'm saying? Like I see Chris Dickerson throw really good tunnel shots all the time. Like
you do.
What do you mean? Everyone does.
I think a good example of that is
the majority of people see these people do these things that they're doing at the All-Star event.
Well, what do we?
Right?
What's the next?
I don't think so.
No,
I
you think people enjoy watching Chris Dickerson throw a 300-foot shot.
I think that's the worst thing to do for sure.
No, the
But
putting's the worst thing. Yuli,
no,
we see
it is. But
seeing Owen Scoggins make 10 out of 10 putts from 30 feet.
No,
it's
I
like,
don't like that, but I think Ricky battling Gannon in like a little putt off right next to each other. That'd be cool.
But it's got to be something different. Like put them both in dunk tanks, and it's your first person to make 10 putts. The other guy gets dunked. Like do something.
And in person,
watching
a long drive competition is cool.
Yuli, I want you and Ricky to do a putting contest. Stand next to Ricky from 30 feet and putt and post it on YouTube. Let's see how well that video does.
They just posted one. I think their video did great.
Yep. They did normal putts.
Didn't they? Didn't you guys
No, we didn't. It was a tiny basket with waterfalls in my backyard, all this stuff.
Watch the content,
putting. That's putting.
No,
dude.
it's
what
not.
Are you talking about?
It was on a tiny basket with waterfalls.
A tiny basket.
Yes.
Putting.
No. You know what would be really sick? Let's play tic-tac-toe putting. Put baskets in the squares, and if you make the putt.
Oh, they had it. It was like nobody played it except for like
except for Steve Dodge.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, they had that. We've had that.
You've literally shown Ricky going against Gannon tic-tac-toe from 60 feet with baskets 20 feet in the air.
Yeah, it was MVP Open back in the day.
Well, what?
Anyways,
what? I've never seen that.
What about just having some sort of qualification for an all-star, and then if you make the all-star team, it's like we turn into like maybe there's a payout, and maybe it's like you just have this camaraderie of like, hey, you made the all-star team. It doesn't have to be a competition. It's just you're trying to compete.
You can be like first team. Exactly. First team player, whatever. Yeah.
And you look back in your career, like, hey, cool, Ricky and Gannon and Chris Dickerson, they made the all-star team, and they're in 2025, like they were the top 5 or 10 best players that year. Like that's pretty cool.
I don't hate that.
Yeah,
there is a new
perk. It at that.
There is a new perk for being on the All-Star team because they're bringing back the DGPT Match Play Championship, and if you make the All-Star team, you are automatically given an invite to be part of the Match Play Championship.
Yeah, I like that stuff better because then you actually like mean something. Hey, you played a whole season, you played well enough to actually qualify for something. Yeah. That really actually like right now it's like like you said, you get to putt from 30 feet, and there's no sort of like there's nothing on the line. It's just more for everyone else's entertainment as opposed to the player that made the all-star team.
I'm going to throw a couple more things out there. One, you got to mic people up. That's another thing. Like when Ricky's throwing the long drive, if you're going to do the long drive contest, have Calvin mic'd up so we can hear him talking trash to Ricky. Like there's got to be something like that. Commentators just literally evaporate. And then like another idea, like, would this be cool to watch? You have teams of 4. Who can finish this par 5 the fastest?
That'd be fun.
And you've got like 2 teams. It's like a match play, or it's like a bracket. 2 teams going up. First one in the basket wins, but it's like alt shot. Each person has to throw at least once. Like have everyone mic'd up, talking. Like it's just when I watch the All-Star event, it's just like
it's awful.
I see this all the time. Like I'm literally, I see this all the time. Why is this any different? Oh, Ricky's in a blue shirt. Oh, Gannon. Oh, wait, Gannon's in a red shirt. Oh my goodness.
Hey, the match play part of it is nice. The match play part of it is cool to watch. It is the point system and everything. That's fun. It is fun.
If you get a good matchup.
Yep. If you get a good matchup and it's Gannon versus whoever and it's coming down the stretch, that's a fun thing.
I don't hate it. Yeah.
But the other little gaming stuff needs to get a little boost.
Right.
Why can't
take them to Ricky's house, put them in a tiny basket, and have them putt around there for.
Yeah, or bring out the cellophane or bring out whatever that stuff is that can easily be shattered, and you
glass. It's called glass.
No, you can't do that with a disc. I think it's got to be like a plastic or something. But you have like 50 of those things in a line, and every guy gets to throw.
trying to explode it.
And you see how far down, how many pieces of plastic you go through, right? So Ricky throws and he gets through 20, and then someone else throws and he gets through. I also like the idea of like the limbo, but like horizontal. So like everyone throws. If you get through the 10-foot gap, then the next gap is 8 feet, then 6 feet, and then you get all the way down to the end.
Yeah, kind of like track and field where the high jump gets a little higher each time, kind of thing. Yeah.
Turning the All-Star weekend.
Also, everyone, let's pause for a second. We Sub says Brody's ideas are terrible. All right, We Sub, we're giving you the floor. Hit me with a good idea for the All-Star event. We Sub. Everyone, no one chat in the comments. We're gonna listen to We Sub's idea because it's gonna be absolute fire, guaranteed. This is gonna be must watch TV here. He's probably already gone.
He just came in for that one thing. Just
the one troll to leave.
No, he's gonna answer.
No. These guys never answer. Yeah, I mean, me and Yuli have talked about this. Like, even the President's Cup, it's like that has so much potential to be a sick standalone event, and they sandwich it to stuff that like no one cares about 5 seconds later.
Yep, that got moved too.
And it's so weird as a player because you're like, you're representing Team USA and you get to play 9 holes. And like that, like there's 2 9-hole matches. Like what? Like you have 2 bad holes and all of a sudden, you're like, you can't recover. It's like, it's crazy. So the idea of it, like you said, is great. I think that it just needs to be like you said, Brody, an event, like make an event out of it, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, and then, it builds
singles the final day, have more
people too.
You can go bet
people on the teams to where you can pick from the different players to team up against whoever. And it's not like, 2 people are playing each other in 9 holes.
Right.
18 total holes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like one day I might sit somebody. You know what I mean? And then
it does seem a little weird that you have the best players from Europe and the best players in the US and you get to play 18 holes and that's it. Like that's
this is the day before the event. I mean,
I know.
They can't do anything else. Have you heard my take on team disc golf? I'm curious what your thoughts are on that.
No, what is it?
Essentially, I just think we should go all in
on like manufacturer teams, or
is
that what you're saying?
Yeah,
that would I could see that being a really good idea. So then it gives incentive for manufacturers to start. The salary cap deal becomes real instead of just being like out of thin air. It's like, hey, like you actually have to have a salary cap and form a team, and it might actually be really cool idea. Is that what you're kind of talking about?
Yeah, and Yuli's got to pick matchups. He's like, I think Ricky and AB are going to play really well together at this course. Let's put them together. Brody sucks, so like he's not playing this event. Like there would actually be, because you're someone that probably Simon no, you play more events than Simon. You actually might maybe Calvin. I don't know. Either you or Calvin probably get the most press conferences throughout the year.
Yeah.
Are they the worst things ever for you? Because they're the worst thing ever for us.
Right. Are you just asking press conferences in general for us?
Yeah, like you sitting down, are you just like, okay, they're going to ask the same questions they asked last week and the week before, and
yeah, I mean, it's definitely a go through the motions type of deal for sure. It's like nothing, like there's nothing new. There's no like curveball questions or like nothing like that. I think it could definitely be spiced up like a bunch of notches for sure.
So my thought is, if is team disc golf, and Yuli's like, you know what, we don't have a spot right now for Ricky at this course, and you get benched for a day, or maybe Yuli's like, hey, we need to rest Ricky. We need to put him in at the end of the thing. Like that would be an interesting conversation of like, Rick, what are your thoughts on resting? Are you not good to go? Like there would be so much more to talk about if we actually went all in on the team idea. And it's still individual
for sure.
It's still individual, right? but it's just like, I don't know. It's already built in. That's my whole thing. It's already built in. There's literally
about the fans too. Go in on why it's important as far as that, because I think that's the most important part of this whole
exactly.
idea.
So it's already built in. There's people already in the chat that said, I love Ricky. I didn't buy a single dynamic disc. Why? What? That doesn't make sense, right? So you already have people that are brand loyal, team loyal, if you will, to Discraft, to Innova, to MVP, to whatever. You already have the fan base. And now it's so much more interesting Ricky coming to Discraft, not because like, oh, we got to see Ricky throw a Ricky Raptor. No, it's like, oh, like that team just got a top 2 player in the world. Like, holy crap. Like, it makes the move so much more interesting because really most other sports, if a player changes sponsors, even like not just like, you know, a shirt sponsor, but like a club sponsor, a shoe sponsor, it's like a tweet. It's an Instagram post.
Right.
It's talked about maybe for a little bit and then it's gone. Like people in the off season, they speculate. I mean, you saw it firsthand. Like people go crazy over it.
Right.
So why doesn't disc golf actually like go that way? It's everything's built up that way. When you sign up to Team Discraft, I'm sure they're like, welcome to the team. Let's all work together. And you're like, I don't want AB to beat me.
Yeah, right.
What?
Yeah.
Right? Like if you're a competitor, you're not wanting these other people to beat you.
Right.
So why don't we just do it? Like I haven't heard an answer. I haven't heard someone rebuttal a reason why not.
So would it be separate events type of thing?
So my thought is it would be very similar. My thought would be it would be very similar to like cross country. So you have, let's say you have 12 guys on your team, right? You pick 7 to run the race. The top 5 of those 7 score you points. So when we go to Florida for the Florida Open, Yuli has to pick 7 guys. 7 might not be the number, but Yuli, for this example, picks 7 guys. The top 5 finishers for Discraft. So let's say you break your arm, knock on wood, and you don't finish. It's not like Discraft is dead. Like someone has to fill in your spot, right? Someone has to help you out because Discraft's top player is now gone, right?
Yeah.
So top 5 get points. And then throughout the entire season, Discraft accumulating points, Innova accumulating points. Maybe one event, there is a doubles of where Yuli now has to figure out, okay, who the heck am I teaming up with Ricky? Who the heck am I putting myself with? Who, you know, like you have to do a doubles thing. We get to see alt shot. Maybe we see a worse shot. Imagine the drama of Ricky and AB having to do a worse shot at like Northwood Black.
Right.
Like, I don't think you guys are just going to be like, oh, it's okay. You hit first available, brother. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Like there's going to
absolutely not.
There's going to be some talking, some strategy. Because again,
there,
let me just show you what the majority of people watch when we watch disc golf. Yuli, if you can talk like Terry for a second while I do this, just be Terry for me. Okay.
Looking like he's lining up this shot here. Looks like he's going sidearm Anheuser. He's going to take his time here. What do you think, Nate? Checking the win. Nate interrupts me. No, I'm just kidding. Still lining it up. And he makes the shot.
I mean,
he makes the shot. That's
forgot to say, and he did it.
I mean, that's literally disc golf 101. Like, we're not really actually hearing conversations. I would love to hear conversations. I would love to hear you and AB talk about what your strategy is on Northwood Black number 1. What should we do? Should I go for it? Should you? I mean, it's just I don't get why we are not trying it. That's my point.
As a non-professional, a fan, a disc golf watcher, I think that'd be really interesting to see like AB line up for something and Ricky's like, why are you throwing a forehand here? Like this is clearly a backhand, or like why are you going with that speed? Or something where you could almost do every so many events, like you have to rest a player. You can't play them more than 3 events in a row. So the captain
hate that idea.
Okay. All right. You know, opinions are good. Everyone's got some.
No, it's fine. Well, I mean, come on.
Hey, let him finish. Let him finish.
Sorry, keep going.
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
You can't sit the top guys.
No. Like a slot thing, right? So, like, let's say you got slots of stuff. You may have to move someone a slot. Like, you can't always stick Ricky and AB together every single time. Like, you're gonna be forced to have to mix them up a little bit. Also it gives players who are trying to get into a spot, they're trying to play their way in, gives them an incentive like, hey, buddy, here's your chance. It's been 5 events. Go perform this weekend, and maybe you'll get in for a future event. But no, I think that'd be fun to watch. A lot of interesting, difficult stuff. And I think fans enjoy that.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, hey, I think,
what do you think, Rick?
Kind of to add what Brody's saying, or a little bit different, obviously, but it would just be like a manufacturer's cup, and you have, some sort of,
just one event, see what happens.
And then go from there and say, hey, if this goes well, you can have like a small tour of like 5 events throughout the year where, it can rotate within Discraft. Hey, so you're fighting for the 5th spot, the top 5 spots on Discraft, top 5 spots of Innova. All the different teams have 5 spots, and you have some sort of format where you actually have to qualify within Team Discraft. It's pretty tough to make the top 5 best players on Discraft. No, and so you're having to have
like
the buzz
guys,
about
guys. It's not going to work. Meatball just said it's too much nonsense. It's why it wouldn't work. There's too much nonsense, guys. It's not going to work.
The
no
buzz
chance.
about this event would actually be pretty good too. Like as far as media goes, because you would have outer voices like Buzz talking about like, oh, who's gonna win? Like MVP fans are gonna be going at it, right? Discraft, Innova, and you're gonna have those guys who might not have watched a full regular tournament might actually tune into that because of the loyalty they have for the brand. So I do agree with you on that.
Let me throw another scenario out there. Okay. Another scenario.
Okay.
You're good at those.
I'm a fan. I'm a huge Yuli fan. Love Yuli, right? So I'm obviously rooting for Team Discraft. Go Team Discraft, go Team Discraft, right? Now, Brody, in the past, there is no Team Discraft, right? So I don't give a rip what Ricky does. I really don't. I'm just paying attention to Yuli. So if Ricky does something, I don't give a rip. But now I'm on Team Discraft. Yuli goes out in the morning, shreds, just absolutely shreds. I'm like, oh my God, Yuli, bang, 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 putt. Best putter in the circle. Right? I'm going nuts. Discraft's in the lead for the tournament. Oh my God, Discraft's going to win. Ricky, he's the ringer. He's going out last. He's got it. Oh, he's struggling. Oh no, Ricky's got an off day. Now I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? I'm engaged. I'm engaged now with what Ricky's doing. Ricky's got a putt on the final hole. I before wouldn't give a rip whether or not Ricky made that. Now I'm watching, hoping he makes it. And if he misses it, I'm pissed off. I'm probably tweeting Ricky. What the flip, Ricky? Right? There's engagement going on. Also, Ricky makes the putt. Guess what? Hey, MVP Stan 101, you guys suck, right? Like, no one's talking trash, right? I mean, obviously, I get a decent amount, and it's warranted. But I don't really see any people really talking trash, being like, I'm a big Paul Ulibarri fan. Big Germ, you suck. Blah blah. Like, it just doesn't happen. In disc golf, everyone's friendly. Everyone,
I don't know, man.
Well, you know what I mean.
Happens. I think it happens.
It doesn't happen nearly as much as if it was Team Innova versus Team Discraft.
Well, once gambling is a thing in disc golf,
well, that's also
you're gonna have a lot of people not liking you.
Yeah, for sure.
You're gonna
go from one extreme to the other.
6 freaking birdies. What is your problem?
How did you not? Yeah.
My thought is just. Is there a way that you can get the casual viewer more dialed into tournaments?
Yeah.
Gambling.
That's one for sure. But is there a product that disc golf has that might be better? Like, is there a potential product that might be better? And you're still, Ricky, you're still going to be able to go out and win tournaments, right? Like the majority of tournaments are still going to be individual based, just like cross country. There's going to be some people out there that win the race and get 12th place for their team because their team sucks, right? And that's, I know some people are posting like, what is Castaplast going to do? Like, yeah, they're going to get absolutely shellacked. It is what it is. But they might sign one guy that competes with Ricky, and that's gonna be interesting to watch Team Castaplast.
Maybe some trades later on in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it could be. I
Get
could
3 first-round picks for next year.
Yeah.
From the G series and
the Q
and
Silver Series.
exactly. And I
Yeah.
picked up Joey Buckets. And I got rid of Adam Hammis.
So I would love to just see it once, just absolutely once. There would also be a lot of money involved because you could just literally get all the manufacturers to start putting money into that, which would be really interesting. And also, that's the other thing. What do you? This kind of goes to. Are you a big cyclist, Ricky? I don't know. Are you?
No.
No.
Not
Okay.
really, no. But
Were you watching at all when Lance Armstrong was doing his thing?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this kind of goes to that of where obviously Lance Armstrong got personal endorsements, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the team got a lot of endorsements. And it's the same thing in football and basketball. There are certain players that get endorsed, but the team, it's really easy to sell the team. And that's my thought too, is right now, could you do that? Could Discraft go out there and sell their team for sponsorship dollars? So they're not having to front the bill so much. They can put their money elsewhere, and money comes into the team from other people saying like, oh yeah, we want to be Team Discraft's, hat sponsor or whatever. I think there's different avenues there. It's at least something to like maybe try.
Ponder,
that's my
thought.
And
a
little ponder, ponder.
Maybe that's your new thing. You
What?
start the tour for this.
The Manufacturer Cup tour.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no, it's a great
No.
idea.
No.
What do you guys think? Raise your hand.
I think he'd be
Let's
a great
hands,
advocate. Yeah.
put hands in the
Let's do
comment
it.
if we think Brody should do this.
Here's the thing, guys.
The Manufacturer Cup CEO right here.
Sometimes we're born with greatness. Sometimes greatness is thrust upon us, Brody.
Yeah.
No. Stop. There's certain things.
A lot of hands going up. There's a lot of hands.
There's certain things in my life that I have very strong opinions on, but at the end of the day, I don't give a rip. And this is one of them. So it's like I would be the worst person because I don't have a passion to see it through.
But it's
All right, that makes sense. All right.
Like if it happens, I'm gonna be like, oh, cool. If it doesn't happen, I'm gonna be like, oh, whatever. So it's like my life doesn't change.
Yeah.
So
but it could change. Imagine it just blowing up. Like
I don't give a rip though, Yuli. And now you're making me having to travel around and have to deal with all these people. I don't want to do that crap.
No.
Someone else can go out there and make a lot. Yeah. You know what? Guess who invented the McGriddle? This guy. All right. This guy. I was the first one to come up with that because I was thinking, you know what? How sick would it be if I could just wake up and put a pancake that already has syrup in it in the microwave and just eat it? And then guess what? 2 years later, the McGriddle came out. Someone was listening. So good for them. Good for them. All right. Did we miss anything tonight? Tonight's been all over the place. It was a good show.
Yeah.
It was fun. We always appreciate Rick coming on. Gary, thanks for coming on. Gary, did you have any questions that you didn't get to? Because I know you had a lot.
Hit them.
Yeah, we covered most of everything. There's no reason to go back and re-ask Ricky something that he's been asked a whole bunch of times. I think for me, the big question that I really want to ask is, you're a very deliberate person. It's something that I think is a testament to your ability to win over a course of many years of your career. And you talk about stuff like habit stacking is important to you. What do you feel like you have to accomplish in 2025 for you to be able to sit back at the end of the season, look upon it and say, I'm happy with the change I made to go to Discraft? Like what are your goals for this year that we all should be looking for?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that for me, it goes back to kind of what we said in the beginning, is just having a sense of what Discraft wants to do, what I want to do, and just partnering together. And I think that if we both do that and we're both on the same page, then the fans and the viewers are going to get a good product. They're going to get me playing at my best. They're going to get cool discs, cool jerseys, and all the whole 9 yards that go into, a business relationship that's going well. And so that's something that's really important to me. And I know if that's going well, then it's going to take a lot of pressure off of me having to go out and initiate the marketing, initiate all these different things. I can just go out there and practice and perform to the best of my ability. So yeah, I think that that's the number one most important thing, and then everything else will fall into place. I'm not the type of person to where I have, hey, I want to win this tournament, I want to win that tournament. Of course, I do want to win a lot of tournaments. I want to win the world championships. I want to win, European Open, whatever. But for me, it's just getting myself in a state to where I have a tour manager, I have Discraft, I have all these different people that take a lot of stuff off my plate, so I can just go out there and week in and week out hone my skills and play to the best of my abilities. But that's going to allow me to hit my goals and play to the play at the highest level week in and week out, and that's going to in turn allow me to win events. And so that's the more of the goal related stuff that I really am interested in is just taking things off my plate while still being able to capitalize on it, whether it's through business or communicating with Discraft, whatever it may be, so that way I can just go out there and be myself. Because I know if I can be myself and at the best of my ability, then I'm going to win a lot, and all my other goals are going to fall into place.
I'm terrible at segues, so I feel like I got to do this one because I feel like this is a decent segue. Ricky going to Discraft, very bold move, but the boldest move that we have seen was Nate Heinel deciding to do an AMA on Reddit. Did anyone get to see any of the responses? Because I didn't look at it. Gary,
insanity.
Gary, did he respond to any of the hard questions?
So the top question was, I'll read it. Because there's a considerable conflict of interest, why don't you resign from the board of the PDGA and just run tournaments and sell discs? And he did not shy away from some big questions, and there was a lot of conversation that went on. I'll say it was a lot of someone who is the runner of a company or foundation or whatever it may be answered in that way, where I'm indirectly kind of answering your question, but not directly. Some would say the questions he didn't answer spoke a lot louder than the questions that he did.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Yuli, do you have any insight on why he decided to do that? Because there's no shot that he thought that was going to go well.
I have no clue.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure. Apparently you can get Freaky Zone for like $7 right now on Ledgestone though. So snag those bad boys up.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, no, it's an interesting one. I obviously with his role with so much, and obviously people are going to be like, oh, PDGA decides where Worlds goes. Like, I think he's having 2 Worlds in the last 4 years? What does anyone know?
Something like that. Yeah. I know it was in Peoria. It was in Peoria not that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
2021.
Yeah.
Okay. No, he's doing enough.
2019. It was in Peoria.
What was?
Yeah. Yes. No. 20.
Oh, okay.
It was one of those years. It was when I broke my leg. So.
Gotcha. Well, Champions Cup 2 was just at Ledgestone basically too. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of questions there. So I mean, I
bid related, right?
I mean, but also the PDGA is the one that's deciding who. Now, obviously,
who wins the bids.
Yeah, if no one's bidding and he's the only one bidding, then you can't really
you're
fault.
Not getting a lot of bids going in there. And if I were to decide who's gonna, he has a big crew over there.
Oh, 100%.
I'm voting to play.
It's gonna be a well-run tournament. Yeah,
with him running them over some. I won't say a place, but over another place, without a doubt.
Yeah, he makes that point that there aren't as many bids as people realize or think there are, and that most people don't understand that these events don't make a ton of money.
No.
They're really hard to run. They lose a lot of money. And I guess the point that people keep coming back to is that even though you're not involved in the decision of who gets the bid, because they know you're the event runner, that can affect their unconscious decision to award the bid. But to Yuli's point, if you've got 2 bids and they're equal in all eyes, and you're like, well, this one over here has an army of people and this one doesn't, it's easier to lean towards the army of people who've done it before.
2 points. 1, Get Freakies are sold out, so don't go to Ledgestone. Sorry, guys. And 2, do we think the PDGA maybe needs to look internally at themselves to be like, why aren't people trying to have the biggest tournament? Because if you guys remember, the Fort, when it was out there, the PDGA just literally threw all the volunteers, all the locals under the bus. Whenever there was something bad happening out there, they're like, oh, well, these people didn't do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, who would want to run Worlds if that's going to be what happens, right?
What is the PDGA's identity? You think about them, like,
just
what is it?
A garbage can, just a straight garbage.
Like, what do you think they think they are? Because then I think the internally thing makes a lot of sense to where they got to be like,
I think that they think they're the top of the totem pole.
Based on
they don't have to do much in order to stay there, basically.
Yeah, I think they're at the top of the totem pole. Like they're how do they lose power?
Yeah, I mean, they know that like it's going to be so hard for someone to basically just start another tour that's really going to catch on. That's basically the only thing, and they know how hard that's going to be and how long that's going to take, and they know it's a tough hill to climb. And even if that's the case, they're so grandfathered in with the rules and all those different things that it's going to take someone 20 years
too. I mean, they got a lot of members.
Yeah, I mean, because got to think there's a lot of logistics. The rules is a huge thing too. Like
big one.
Yeah, there may be a handful of really bad rules, but they have a lot of great rules. 95% of the rules and stuff are great. You know, like that it would take so much time and effort to come up with a whole new rule book and all this stuff just because that couple percent of rules that are terrible. So there's a whole lot of logistical stuff that they know that is going to take a lot of time, money, and effort to actually change, and they just.
People are so addicted to ratings too.
Yeah. Well, you also have you have the intertwining of the professional and the amateur side, because what the PDGA does for pros is so different than what they do for the rest of the game. When they provide the insurance for TDs, they make running the game at a local level a lot easier for people. But I think also having the DGPT wrapped in with the PDGA makes it hard to see the PDGA going anywhere, because if the day came that the DGPT was like, you know what, we're going to come up with our own rule system, I think that's the biggest hit the PDGA could take. Otherwise, I think they're going to be around and weather the storm.
For sure.
Do you guys have 3 minutes?
Sure.
Okay. Yuli, you got 3 minutes?
I for sure. Yeah.
All right, we're going off disc golf here. Let's talk about Carvana real quick. All right.
That wasn't what I expected.
Yuli, you know what I'm talking about?
Isn't it like a rental car company?
No,
vending machine.
They buy. It's like the vending machine. You drive by, it's got all the cars stacked up in a tube.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So we just sold one of our cars today. We drove it there. We met someone in the lobby. We gave them the keys. They walked out to the car. She went in and wrote some numbers, took some photos, took a picture of the VIN, and within 45 seconds.
Oh, I know what it is now. I was thinking.
Handed us a fat check. And we gave over the title. Is that weird to anyone else? Is that weird?
Well, I thought it was always for buying. I didn't know you could actually sell to them too.
Yeah.
And they gave us several $1,000s more than the dealerships would. We went around, they paid way more than the dealerships, but they didn't is that, I'm not a car person. Do you need to check on the car before you buy it though, or no? Is that not important?
Well, I guess because trade-ins you're always going to get way less.
That's a plus for them.
So if you're trading it into a dealership, you're getting lowballed. So they're that's one thing. So they're giving you a little bit more than a lowball. We'll just put it that way for just putting it in perspective.
He's talking about the process.
But I'm talking about. I just took my car to a mechanic and they said, "Bro, 100 miles, your engine is exploding." And I'm like, I drive it straight to Carvana and I sell it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oftentimes the value of the car can be worth more than what, in terms of, depending on how new the car is, certain parts or components in the vehicle could be worth more than what the perceived value of the vehicle is. So they're willing to pay you more to get access to those parts. We're dealing with something similar where we've got a nice 2013. The transmission is going to die any day. It's driven, but I'll get more for it than what it's worth because it's just new enough that the parts are worth what they're worth.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. It was the first time I ever sold a car because the first car I bought I still have. Shout out Maserati.
Nice, Maserati. That's funny.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I was in shock. I was just like, we went to the bank to cash it. I literally looked at Kelsey. I was like, this thing's bouncing. Like, there's no shot that this is a real. There's no shot they just gave us money without checking the car at all. But yeah, I don't know.
I always thought it was used for just like buying a car. I didn't know you could actually trade in a car there or sell it.
Yeah, no, I saw a little bit more information on Twitter about it because people were kind of chiming in a little bit when I asked about it. And some people were saying they actually make all their money off of like the financing. So it's not like they're willing to buy a car for like 31,000 and sell it for 30 and have like a really small margin on it because they're going to be able to finance it with someone and make like a whole bunch of money that way.
For the percentage, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know. All I know is if I've heard this, if you're trying to sell a car, sell it to Carvana. If you're trying to buy a car, do not buy from Carvana.
All right.
Because our car might, the engine might explode in 100 miles, and that would be very unfortunate for you. But it's off my hands. It's off my hands.
Right.
New 2025 sponsor, Carvana.
Yeah, Carvana,
it's a tough
right?
one to get now. At this point.
It's gonna be tough. I've seen. I don't know if you guys follow golf that much, but like Rick Shields just did just got signed with Live Golf.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long it took him. He had to go back and delete so many YouTube videos, so many tweets where he was just talking trash about Live Golf because now he's actually working for them. But yeah, this podcast might be gone. If it is, your boy's rolling in dough from Carvana. All right, that's what's happening.
All right, good deal.
All right, boys. Appreciate it.
Right.
Ricky, Yuli, good luck next week down in Florida, boys. I'll see you over in Texas. Gary, thanks for popping on. Everyone, thank you guys so much. And Rick, real quick, where can people grab your stuff? I see you're wearing the stick jersey.
Yeah. So Discraft's working on this, and then we got the pre-orders for the putters are available until March 3rd is when they release. So if you have a store or you want to buy from a store, tell your local store you want to check out my new putter. So February 4th or 14th until March 3rd is when the pre-orders are open. And I think we've sold out of the Ricky Raptors. So those are probably
not
produced
surprised.
again soon.
Not surprised.
So those will be back soon, I'm sure. So other than that, we got some good stuff in the works, and I'll be posting on socials.
Love that. Gary, you slinging any merch over there?
Not slinging merch yet, but some fun things to come for me in the next few weeks. But
whoa, Gary!
I just took down a nice bull 2 weekends ago. Feeling to run off the high of that right now. So
congrats!
Love
it. Nice.
All right. Well, hopefully the show. What?
I will say. New cap wraps are up for pre-order too. You want to get those things? Those things feel freaking amazing.
All right.
Also, AB Sagara, I believe, is out there for some pre-orders.
Okay,
so we got a lot of good stuff with those putters from Ricky.
Rockin' moving.
It's all rolling. Check those out.
They gotta make a bag called the Humidor for the Sagara.
Don't know what that means, but I laughed.
Yeah, that's over my head, Gary. That's over my head. Gonna be honest with you.
I gave you the. That's a good one, Gary.
Gonna be honest with you. All right. Well, hopefully tonight's episode didn't suck without Silas. Like I said, shoot me an email, bwsproductions@gmail.com if you want to be the producer of the show. And who knows, maybe next week you'll be sitting the big thing, and everyone in chat can yell at you about Gary's volume not being loud enough. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it. Ricky, Gary, Yuli. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys next week.
Later.
Good show, boys. Good show, boys.